A modern cracking rig can try 8 billion password guesses a second. At that speed, an 8-character password with a capital letter, a number, a symbol, the kind we were all taught to use, fails in about a day, sometimes faster. In nearly every intrusion I investigated at the FBI, the first domino to fall was a password too short, too common, or reused from some site the employee never thought twice about. One weak password, and the rest of the network is just a matter of time. I'm Steve Ciavallino, retired FBI Special Agent. Let's fix that starting now. Welcome back to Irongrid Cybersecurity. Today, we're talking about one security layer everybody already has and almost nobody gets right, the password. Here's the headline. Most people's passwords can be cracked in under a second. By the end of this video, you'll know the 2-minute fix that changes that completely for every account you own. Let's get into it. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth. Your password probably is not as unique as you think. That's right, that's the most common password out there, found in over 42 million breach accounts year after year. Not a typo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, over 42 million compromises a year. Here are some other very common passwords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like we just talked about. The word password. QWERTY 1, 2, 3, and I love you, with no spaces. These aren't rare edge cases. They're the most common passwords in use right now across millions of accounts, including probably a few in your organization. Here's why that matters. Cracking tools don't even guess randomly. They run through the list of the most common passwords first, automatically, against every account they find. If yours is on that list, it's gone before the attacker breaks a sweat. So the first fix is simple. Stop being predictable. But that's only half the problem. The second problem is reuse. In 2021, the Colonial Pipeline was hit with ransomware that shut down the fuel supply across the entire East Coast for 6 days and ended in $4.4 million ransom payment. The way in was not a sophisticated attack. It was a reused password originally discovered on the dark web, an old account with no MFA enabled. That's not a rare scenario. 94% of leaked passwords are reused somewhere else. So a breach at some website you signed up for years ago and forgot about can hand an attacker the keys to your email, your bank account, and your work account, all at once. The fix is a password manager. Beyond generating unique passwords, it won't even try to autofill your password on a fake website because it recognizes the real domain and the imposter site does not match. That's phishing protection built in for free. Now let's talk about the rules you were probably taught because they're outdated. Modern GPUs, the kind used for gaming, video editing, and now artificial intelligence, can now attempt billions of password guesses per second. As I said earlier in the video, that old password of 8 characters with a random sequence of upper or lowercase and symbols and numbers can be compromised in a day. The new NIST standard reflects that math. 15 plus characters, a passphrase, a handful of random, unrelated words strung together beats a short, complex password every time, and it's easier for a person to actually remember. But again, the password manager will handle all this for you. I've already mentioned password managers a few times. Let's make sure it's not a mystery. Here's what it actually does. You remember one passphrase. It generates, stores, and autofills a unique random password for every other account you have. That's not a passphrase. It's not a bunch of common words. It's random characters, symbols, and numbers. One catch: don't use the password manager built into your browser. If that browser ever gets compromised, every password you've saved in it gets compromised. A standalone app takes about 5 minutes to set up, and it works everywhere you log in, not just in one browser. As for safety, everything is encrypted on your device. Even the password manager itself can't read your passwords. There are many good options out there, free and paid. Pick one and move on with your day. That's the whole mystery solved. Now, let's see how all this stacks up on the next slide. I know this slide is busy, but here's a summary of how these things stack up. A reused password fails almost every category that matters. A short, complex password is barely better. It resists casual guessing, but still falls fast to modern cracking tools. And it does nothing to protect you if that one site gets breached. A long passphrase is strong, free, and easy to remember on its own. No app required. And a password manager checks every box but one. You do not need to install it. That's a small trade for something that scales to every account you own and stops credential stuffing cold automatically. So here's exactly how to fix this. In 4 steps, you can finish this week. No IT department required. Step 1, pick a dedicated password manager app. Not one built into your browser. The free tier of any major standalone option is enough to start. And setup takes just a few minutes. Step 2, set one strong passphrase, 15 plus characters, a handful of random words. This becomes the only password you ever have to remember again, so make it memorable to you and no one else. Step 3, let the password manager generate everything else. Every other account gets a long, random, unique password. You'll never have to think about it. Type or remember. And step 4, turn on breach alerts. Most password managers will tell you the moment one of your passwords shows up on a leak in the dark web, so you can change it before anyone else has a chance to use it. 4 steps, about 2 minutes of setup. That's the whole fix. Let me leave you with a few key takeaways. Length beats complexity now. 15 plus characters or a passphrase, always. Never reuse a password. One leak should never be able to reach a second account. A password manager does the hard part for you, generating, storing, and autofilling safely, so the strongest option is also the easiest one. And pair all of this with multi-factor authentication. A great password plus MFA is what actually closes the door. If you haven't seen our MFA series, it's in the link right here. If you want this kind of practical FBI-grounded cybersecurity training for your team, Irongrid Cybersecurity is here to help. Link in the description. Awareness is your armor. Build your Irongrid. Next week, we're covering passkeys, the password alternative already built into your phone, and how it locks out the kind of attacks we just talked about today. New episode every Tuesday morning, right here. Passwords are not a technical problem. They're a habits problem. Get this right once, with a password manager doing the work, and it protects you everywhere automatically. Awareness is your armor. Build your Irongrid.